In the vast frozen wilderness of the Arctic, where the ice stretches endlessly to the horizon, an enormous creature glides silently beneath the surface. A humpback whale, one of the ocean's true giants, carving its path through a world of cold and darkness. Up here, in the far north, survival is not a choice. It is a daily battle written in ice, blood, and instinct. This whale has traveled thousands of kilometers to reach these icy waters. For the humpback, the Arctic is not just a feeding ground, it is the heartbeat of its entire life cycle. From the fish that fill its stomach, to the predators lurking near the surface, every moment in this frozen world carries a story. Beneath the ice, the whale navigates with slow, deliberate movements. Its massive tail pushes aside the water with effortless grace, while the faint sunlight filters down in shimmering beams. Up above, the ice groans and cracks, a reminder that in the Arctic, nothing stays still for long. Encounters in the Arctic depths. As the humpback glides silently, other inhabitants of the icy waters make their presence known. Seals dot the ice floes, their dark eyes alert for any sign of danger. They are playful yet cautious, masters of the frozen world they call home. Above the surface, the haunting cry of the Arctic winds merges with the occasional splash of a predator's attack. Orcas, the notorious killer whales, patrol these waters with sharp precision, hunting in coordinated packs that rival any army on land. Even the massive humpback is not immune to their threat, and its keen instincts must always remain vigilant. Yet, the Arctic is not only a realm of fear, it is also a stage for astonishing beauty and unexpected moments of grace. The sunlight, bending through ice and water, creates an ethereal glow around the whale's massive form. Its songs, haunting, deep, and resonant, travel for miles beneath the frozen waves, a language as old as the ocean itself. Migration looms on the horizon. Soon, the whale will leave these icy feeding grounds to journey south, following an instinct written into its very DNA. It is a cycle of life, danger, and survival, a reminder that in the Arctic, nothing is permanent and every moment counts. For centuries, people believed that these creatures existed only in old stories told around fireplaces. But the more explorers traveled, the more they realized that myths often hide a piece of truth. Legends never appear out of nowhere. There is always something behind them. Some stories came from misunderstandings, others came from fear, and a few came from real encounters that people couldn't explain. And the most fascinating part is that ancient civilizations across the world describe the same strange beings without ever meeting each other. How can that be a coincidence? When historians began translating old manuscripts, they found detailed descriptions of creatures that matched modern discoveries. Carvings on temple walls showed figures with unusual shapes, too specific to be imagination, yet too strange to be ordinary animals. Some drawings even matched fossils discovered thousands of years later. It was as if ancient people saw something with their own eyes, recorded it, and expected future generations to understand the message. Some scientists believe these beings vanished because the environment changed, while others think humans played a role. But there's a third group, the one that believes they never truly disappeared. They think these creatures learned to survive by hiding far from modern civilization, deep in places we still haven't explored. And honestly, considering how little of the ocean and dense forests we've mapped, the idea might not be crazy at all. The strange thing is that if these creatures still exist, they don't seem interested in approaching humans. They avoid contact, remain out of sight, and leave behind only traces, footprints, shadows, sounds, or stories whispered by travelers. Maybe they learned from the mistakes of the past. Maybe they realized that humans fear what they don't understand. Or maybe they simply prefer a world where no one follows them. Over the last 100 years, scattered reports began to appear from people who claimed they had seen something unusual, something that didn't fit any known animal. Most of these witnesses were explorers, hunters, fishermen, or travelers passing through isolated regions. They described tall silhouettes moving between the trees, enormous shapes gliding beneath dark waters, or strange glowing eyes staring at them from cliffs at night. These sightings were always brief, unclear, and impossible to verify, yet too consistent to ignore. When scientists heard these stories, most dismissed them as imagination. They insisted that people were misidentifying regular animals or exaggerating what they saw. But everything changed when physical evidence began to surface. Massive footprints in remote forests, deep claw marks on rocks, and strange sounds recorded in areas where no large creatures should exist. Suddenly, the line between myth and reality became very blurry in several countries. Reports of strange creatures were quietly buried. Files disappeared, recordings were sealed, and witnesses were encouraged not to talk. Some people believe the authorities wanted to avoid public panic, while others think these creatures might be part of something bigger, something no one is ready to face yet. Whatever the reason, the silence only made the mystery grow stronger. If these creatures still exist, why haven't we captured a clear image of them? The answer might be simpler than we think. They don't want to be found. Many animals in nature are masters of camouflage, and if these beings evolved to avoid humans for thousands of years, then spotting them would be nearly impossible. They move in silence, travel at night, and dwell in places where light barely reaches. They exist just outside our world, close enough to sense, but far enough to remain hidden. What if these creatures are not hiding out of fear, but out of intelligence? What if they understand us better than we understand them? What if they watch us from the shadows, waiting, not for the right moment to attack, but for the right moment to return? For centuries, we assumed these creatures vanished forever. But what if they didn't die? What if they simply stepped back, waiting for a world that would no longer threaten them? Today, nature is changing faster than ever. Forests reclaim abandoned cities, oceans grow warmer, and ancient ice melts to reveal secrets long buried. In moments like these, the world becomes unpredictable, perfect conditions for something long forgotten to reappear. In the last decade, strange discoveries have been reported. Enormous footprints appearing overnight in regions with no known wildlife, deep tunnels carved through mountains with no machinery involved, and unsettling calls recorded in forests hundreds of miles apart yet identical in tone. These aren't the kind of signs nature leaves by accident. They belong to something powerful, something deliberate. As humans expand, build, and reshape the world, these beings may be running out of safe places. Some researchers believe that rising sea levels, wildfires, and deforestation are forcing hidden species to move closer to human territories. People think they are seeing new creatures, but maybe they were always there. We simply never looked in the right direction. What makes everything more unsettling is that modern sightings match ancient legends almost perfectly. The same towering shapes, the same glowing eyes, the same strange movements described thousands of years ago are being reported today by hikers, fishermen, and night drivers. It's almost as if time didn't change these creatures at all, or as if they were waiting to be seen again. Some experts believe these creatures approach humans on purpose, not to attack, but to observe. They might be studying how we behave, how we fight, how we build, how we destroy, and how we survive. If that's true, then every sighting isn't an accident. It's a warning, a silent message that they are watching, waiting, and choosing the right moment to step back into our world. Humanity may believe it dominates the planet, but these creatures, older, stronger, and far more patient, know better. If they choose to reveal themselves again, they won't do it quietly. The world will change in ways we are not prepared for. And maybe, just maybe, the legends were warnings, not stories. In the most remote corners of the planet, places untouched by civilization, locals speak in hushed voices about creatures that move between shadows. These stories are older than any nation, passed from ancestors who warned their children never to wander too far at night. They believed that beyond the border of the known world, something ancient listens, watches, and waits. And strangely, the stories are identical even from cultures that never had contact with each other. Recently, researchers studying deep earth vibrations detected something unusual: rhythmic pulses echoing from beneath mountains where no human machinery exists. The pattern didn't match earthquakes, volcanic activity, or any natural process. It was structured, intentional, and when they compared the signal to ancient carvings, the shapes lined up perfectly, as if the message had been repeating for thousands of years. If these beings truly survived, they would predate our languages, our cities, even our understanding of the world. They were here before us, and they may have watched humanity rise, fall, and rise again. Some legends claim they guided early humans. Others say they hid from them. But a few ancient texts hint at something more terrifying. That these creatures once ruled the earth, and we were the intruders. As technology advances, we are finally entering places that were once unreachable: deep oceans, underground caverns, and isolated jungles. With every new discovery, the line between myth and truth becomes thinner. Scientists can no longer deny what's happening. Something out there is shifting, responding, preparing. And whatever it is, it's intelligent enough to stay unseen. If these creatures return, truly return, will they see us as neighbors or as invaders? Will they reclaim the world they once dominated? Or will they stay hidden in the shadows, watching, judging, and waiting for humanity to make its next mistake? Because one thing is certain: creatures that survive through myth, silence, and time don't stay hidden forever. They always come back. The first signs were subtle: a shadow moving against the wind, a whisper in the dark, animals acting strangely as if they knew something we didn't. People laughed, called it imagination, or blamed stress. But deep down, a few knew something was waking. Cameras in remote forests captured shapes that seemed impossible. Elongated figures slipping silently between trees, eyes glowing with intelligence that no human could possess. Every photo, every clip, felt like a message. We are here. We have always been here. At night, some reported hearing low, resonant calls, neither animal nor human. They vibrated through the ground, through walls, through the bones themselves. Scientists dismissed them as hallucinations, but recordings proved otherwise. Patterns, rhythms, signals that hinted at a language older than history. We are unprepared for what is coming. Civilization, technology, cities, none of it matters to them. They do not move like predators. They do not strike blindly. They observe, calculate, and act when the moment is perfect. And that moment may be now. Ancient ruins speak of a time when humans and these creatures coexisted, but only until we overstepped, only until greed and ignorance forced them into hiding. The texts warn of an awakening, of shadows reclaiming their place, and of a reckoning that no human mind can fully comprehend. Do you hear it? In the silence, the wind, the shifting leaves, the world itself whispers that something ancient is moving. And soon, very soon, it will no longer hide. The night was darker than any night before. Even the moon seemed to hide, as if afraid to witness what was about to unfold. Every shadow moved with intent. Every sound carried a warning. The world was holding its breath. Suddenly, it was clear we were not alone. Eyes, countless eyes, reflected in every window, in every puddle, in every dark corner. They watched, patient and eternal, waiting for the moment humans would finally understand that we were never in control. A sound like cracking stone echoed through the cities. Buildings trembled. Trees bent as if bowing to unseen kings. Animals fled, screaming. And then the shadows began to stretch, growing taller, wider, more terrifying than memory or legend ever suggested. They emerged fully, ancient beings of a world we thought we owned. Their presence was overwhelming, intelligent, unstoppable. Civilization, technology, even fear itself was meaningless in the face of such perfection. In the end, it was not destruction they sought. It was recognition, a reclaiming of balance, a reminder that humans were not the center, not the rulers. The world is older than us, and it remembers, always. And then, silence. The kind of silence that isn't emptiness, but awareness. The shadows receded, leaving behind whispers in the wind, echoes in the trees, and a single truth: we were not alone, and we never would be.